Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program. The Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program is a 30-minute radio intervention support program that is meant to provide continuous instruction to keep you academically engaged during this stay-at-home period, as well as preparing you, our 6th, 9th, and 12th graders for the pending Liberia Primary School Certificate Exam, Liberia Junior High School Certificate Exam, and West Africa Senior Secondary Certificate Exam when the time comes. Also, in addition to this academic support, the program is meant to provide psychosocial support for learners, teachers, and parents, and also tips on how you as parents and teachers can provide support to your students and children at home. Now, let's join our teacher for today's lesson.
Welcome, students, to the Ministry of Education COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program. Our lesson today is for grade 10, and the subject is grammar. The topic for today's lesson is preposition. We are beginning with this topic because it is one of the topics that you are expected to study at this time in the school year. My name is Linda Y. Dean, and I am your teacher for this lesson. Boys and girls, let's now take a quick COVID-19 health break, and we'll be right back.
Coronavirus is spread via droplets. When the person coughs or sneezes, the droplets land on surfaces and are picked up on the hands of others and spread further. People catch the virus when they touch their infected hands to their mouth, nose, or eyes. It follows that the single most important thing you can do to protect yourself is keep your hands clean by washing them frequently with soap and water or hand sanitizer.
Welcome back, boys and girls, to our grammar lesson class. So let's begin by talking about what prepositions are. Prepositions are words that add meaning to a sentence by showing the relationship between words. So when we use prepositions in our speech, we add meaning to what we are saying and we show the relationship in our words. Now, the key idea or the key concept in this lesson about preposition is a preposition is a word that relates a noun or pronoun that appears with another word in the sentence. Remember, class, that a preposition can affect the entire meaning of a sentence. So the next thing we're going to do now is to talk about some words that are used as preposition. And the key concept to that other idea is that the choice of a preposition affects the way the other words in a sentence relate to each other. That means when we are speaking or writing, whatever preposition that we choose can make the sentence to have a different meaning or another meaning from another sentence that has a different preposition. Now, there are some words that are commonly used as prepositions. Let's talk about some of those words. Those words are many. So we'll begin by talking about a few of them. For example, the word about is a preposition. Aboard, across, after, against, along, amid, among, above, off, that is OFF. Another word is around, which is also a preposition. At, that's AT, a preposition. Barring, and barring is a strange word as a preposition, so I will spell that word. It is spelled B-A-R-R-I-N-G, and it means except. Boys and girls, let's now take a quick COVID-19 health break and we'll be right back.
What are the symptoms of COVID-19? COVID-19 symptoms include cough, fever, shortness of breath. In rare cases, COVID-19 can lead to severe respiratory problem, kidney failure, or death. If you have a fever or any kind of respiratory difficulty, such as coughing and shortness of breath, call your doctor.
Welcome back, boys and girls, to our grammar lesson class. Other prepositions are before, behind, below, beneath, beside, besides, throughout, between, beyond, but, by, that's by, concerning, considering, despite, down, during, except, for, from, in, inside, into, like, near, and of. That is OF. So those words that we just called are words that are most often used as prepositions. Others include on, onto, opposite, out, outside, over, past, that is PAST, regarding, round, since, through, till, that's TILL. It is a preposition. And we also have the words to, that is TO, toward, under, underneath, until, up, up on, with, within, without. These are words that are most often used as prepositions. The next group of words that we can use as prepositions is called compound prepositions. They are called compound prepositions because they have more than one word acting as prepositions. These compound prepositions are according to, ahead of, apart from, aside from, as of, next to, on account of, out of, because of, by means of, in addition to, in back of, in front, owing to, prior to, in place of, in regard of, in spite of, instead of, in view of. These words are compound prepositions because there are more than one word coming together to act as prepositions. So now we will read one sentence that will use 4 different prepositions in different ways. As we read, take note of how the 4 different prepositions give that one sentence different meaning. And the sentence is, we saw a squirrel, in the first preposition, inside the park. So when we say we saw a squirrel inside the park, it gives the sentence the meaning of where, what part of the park we saw the squirrel. The same sentence, we saw a squirrel near. So the preposition near gives the sentence different meaning from the one that says inside. So near the park makes us to see where the squirrel is. It is no longer inside the park, but near the park. Another preposition using the same sentence, we saw a squirrel within the park. It is almost the same as inside the park. Now let's use another preposition, but this time a compound preposition with this sentence. We saw a squirrel next to the park, giving the sentence a different meaning from inside, near, within the park. So class, you see how when we use prepositions, our sentences can take on different meaning. And when we use prepositions, we also see how we add meaning to our sentences. Boys and girls, let's now take a quick COVID-19 health break and we'll be right back.
Coronavirus is spread via droplets. When the person cough or sneeze, the droplets land on surfaces and are picked up on the hands of others and spread further. People catch the virus when they touch their infected hands to their mouth, nose, or eyes. It follows that the single most important thing you can do to protect yourself is keep your hands clean by washing them frequently with soap and water or hand sanitizer.
Welcome back, boys and girls, to our grammar lesson class. So, we will stop here today, class, for this lesson. But before we go, let's do a quick review of what we talked about in today's lesson. We talked about prepositions. Prepositions are very important because they form part of the parts of speech. We cannot speak without using prepositions. And the most commonly used prepositions are, again, about, aboard, across, after, against, along, amid, among, above, off. Also, around, at, barring, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, besides, throughout, between, beyond, but, by, concerning, considering, despite, down, during. During is spelled D-U-R-I-N-G, and it is not the word doing, which is D-O-I-N-G. More prepositions that we talked about: except, for, from. That's F-R-O-M and not F-O-R-M. Yes. In, inside, into, like, near, off, on, onto, opposite, out, outside, over, past, regarding, round, since, through, to, toward, under, underneath, until, up, upon, with, within, without. Those are the prepositions that have only one word. Now, we also talked about prepositions that have more than one word, and those prepositions are called compound prepositions. Remember, they are according to, ahead of, apart from, aside from, as of, next to, on account of, out of, because of, by means of, in addition to, in back of, in front of, owing to, prior to, in place of, in regard of, in spite of, instead of, and in view of. Remember, by using prepositions, we add meaning to our words and sentences. So that's it for our lesson today, class. In our next lesson, we will be talking about prepositional phrases and how we can use them. Why are prepositional phrases very, very important? And so that's the end of our lesson for today. If you have any questions for today's lesson, class, you can text your questions or your comments to the number 0778 780306. And that's the number 0778 780306. Thank you for listening. Until the next time.